Welcome back to my 4-part series on emotional intelligence. This is part 2. If you're just joining, I recommend you start at part 1. In my last video, we talked about bringing awareness to our physical and emotional state, the self-awareness skill of emotional intelligence. In the context of relationships and leadership, the reason for mastering this is to unlock the next essential skill, self-management. Viktor Frankl's famous quote captures this beautifully, and I'm going to read it for you. Between stimulus and response, there is a space. In that space is our power to choose our response. In our response lies our growth and our freedom. Simply being aware of our feelings, our emotions, our physical sensations, and being aware of our thoughts, what I call our state of being, on its own is not enough. It's a lot. But we need strategies to pause and shift something if we want to choose our response rather than react automatically. In that space, that tiny space that Frankl describes, we reclaim our power to do something differently. So how do we give ourselves that split-second space? Once again, the power is in the body. The secret is in the body. This reminds me of a recent moment with a client. I led her through an exercise to know how her body reacted in a certain situation, an interpersonal situation at work. And it became really clear to me that she left her body. She was swept away by her all-powerful mind, which happens to so many of us so often. And yet our power is here in our body, in our breath, in our bones, when we're in those kinds of situations, when we're in those tough situations. And as I guided her, when she grounded herself in her breathing, when she settled into her chair, she was ready to respond rather than to react. But when her thoughts hijacked her, when she talked and expressed her thoughts, and I was able to watch, it was visible. It was almost visible how she would lift herself almost out of her chair. And I would say to her, get back in your body. Breathe. Feel your bones in the chair. Feel your feet on the floor. And she'd respond immediately to those simple commands. And she'd sink down in, and she'd ground down in, and she would look comfortable, and she'd look relaxed. And she'd respond to these cues. And later she asked me, what did you mean when you said get back in your body? And what that means is bringing your attention back to your body, bringing your attention back to your breath, your posture, your physical sensations. And guess what that does? That brings you back to the present moment. And I realized that I had to slow down and explain something to her that I forgot took me years to learn. That when we consciously bring our attention back to our breath, we become present. And in that moment of presence, in that moment of split-second presence, we find that freedom, that space to choose our next thought, our next response, our next action, and then our choices become conscious versus unconscious. In my next video, I'll share how you can better read others. See you then.